Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the World Tech Report here on Single TV channels 249 and 250 on Singo's network channel. Remember that this show can be seen across Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, and on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. We also request that you go to the respective stores of iOS and Android to download the application of Single TV so that you can view all our programming and excellent reporting from our hosts. As well, remember, once you have a chance to observe our programming, to go back to the iOS and Android stores and leave us a little comment and a little ranking. We always like to hear from our audience to see how we can improve our programming and our direction. Today, I am honored to have Ana Maria Quintanilla, part of Wisdom Group in Monterrey, Mexico. And on this weekend that is so special because it's Father's Day weekend, we wish everybody that around the world a happy Father's Day. But Miss Quintanilla has a special mission this week coming up because she will be participating in what's it's the most important IT conference worldwide, Collision, the Collision conference that will be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, from June 20th to the 23rd at the Encare Center. Ms. Quintanilla, thank you very much, and I welcome you to our show, the World Tech Report.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Eduardo. I'm so happy to be here and share what we've been doing for now 3 years. Thank you.
So I always say tell the people that I engage with, because I don't interview them. I engage with them in learning more about what they do and how the processes are in order to get to where they got. But I want to find a little bit more about the person that is behind the solutions. Uh, so give us a little description of the person, not con- uh, the
Like the app, not
consultant,
the
not
app.
the consultant, but and or the business person, but the person.
Okay, I'm a mother. I'm a wife. Been married for over 28 years, and it has been wonderful. My three kids, they're adults now. I'm a daughter too. I have my mom and dad. I'm Catholic. What else can I say? I live in Monterrey, Mexico. I lived here. I was born here. Then I lived in England for a while, and then in the north of Mexico near the border. So I know what it means to live in the border. And I've been working since I was 17 in the development area, like to develop skills as a consultant. So it's been good. It's been good.
So one of the things that is interesting to me that I have seen, and I will get a little bit more deeper into your who you are as a business person and as a consultant, because it's interesting your trajectory within that arena of skill development and consulting for skill development with corporations. Uh, you started, you have worked through many different companies as clients, uh, from the general public, small and medium-sized companies, to major and corporations,
Yes,
including.
I usually work with big companies like Whirlpool, at several banks, Danfoss, Lego. LG Electronics, like worldwide companies that need to change, well, some things in the culture. Like, for example, help the people in power, help the supervisors, help the general managers, the directors have a better leadership and get the teams to work with one another so they get better results, and they enjoy their day at work. That's what we do.
So basically, is taking them out of routine and and in general terms saying becoming more human, giving the
Yes,
human quality.
yes. It's funny how people have been working together for 4, 10 years and they really don't know each other. They don't know their families. They don't know what they're feeling. They just know, the role, the responsibility the other person has.
Yeah, and that's something that is in North America particularly is very common. That you go in, you punch the clock, and you don't know who's beside you.
Yeah, there's
You
a
know them as, you know them as business people, but you don't know them as what's behind them.
yeah, you don't know that. And some people in the past they used to say, leave your emotions outside. And it was like prohibited to talk about your family. Nowadays you can talk about your dog and you can talk about what you ate. So different now.
Yeah, I remember clearly when I started my career in North America in the business world that basically you were told, if you were in sales, you were told once you land the account, you hand it over. And but in Latin America, particularly in Latin America, it's a different situation because Latin America, people are human. People get more into being friends with your coworkers, sharing events, sharing the good times.
Yes, we tend to make a family out of the coworkers, out of the team. And if it doesn't happen, it's like really sad.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting that you guys developed a company, and I want to talk about the company now because, as you said, in Latin America we are very familiar and very family oriented. So this company, from what I understand, if I'm correct, it's a family oriented corporate company. uh,
Yes. Yes, my mom started the business in 1990. She still works at the company. She's going to turn 72 next year, and she works because she wants to. She really likes developing new methodologies and new experiences. And well, we are a group of 25 people in Wisdom Consulting. We've been on the market for 30 plus years, serving international companies. And now we are starting to go to the general public and to small enterprises because we developed a technology that can deliver this quality service to anyone. Look, I even have my T-shirt. I just put like a TikTok video on the T-shirt. You can look at it. But this is it. I'm wearing it because we're going to Toronto now. It's Wiz.Coach is the way we can reach millions of people at the same time. We're not just aiming for the VPs and C level executives as we've been doing so far. Now we want to reach everyone who wants to have insights, who wants to do something different, want to learn new skills and manage their stress. It's like just chatting with with me, with all our coaches, but it's AI. It's an AI bot. You have to try it. It's really easy to just go into Wiz.Coach. That's Wiz.Coach, and just make your account, and you're in.
So let's talk about the skills, because a lot of people talk talk a lot about being more personable with their staff, but
Mhm.
but they're they don't go the how can I say, they don't go the long distance. They go, once they have certain approach, they say, oh, I am okay now. So what are the skills that a C level or a mid management uh, company, sorry, mid company
A middle management.
middle manager needs to have?
Well, I think everyone needs to learn to listen, like really listen to what others are saying. Because uh, many people finish your sentence. They think they know what you want to say. They think they know what you're feeling or trying to do. But if you just be quiet for a while and just let the other person finish without, well, you can't just not think, but um, just knowing that all your opinions are opinions, and really trying to understand where is the other person, from where that person is telling you something. And then you listen, and then you question, you try to figure out what they want to tell you. For instance, when we want to get an agreement, say I detect something that is a risk for the company or for our team. So if I feel that I can talk to you, I will go approach you and tell you this is happening, and I'll find the best time to tell you, because if I think you're just too stressed or too worried or on a meeting, you can't pay attention. So I'll look for the time for you to be able to listen best. And then we need to develop the skill of asking for something, and then being able to negotiate and make sure the other person said yes, that the person is really committed. If you don't listen the word yes, I will do it, then you're not sure that the other person is going to do so. If the person says, well, maybe yes, we'll see that, we'll get into it, that's not a commitment. See, so those are the kind of skills that you use language to create things. um, if you're in a coordinator position, if you're a supervisor, then your work is to listen and to talk, to explain, to coordinate others.
And that's interesting, because I mean, I I remember my grandfather and my great grandfather always telling me, the person that you know is the person that will become your best friend. And he goes, and that, and they will tell me, it's not just the people that you associate with in normal life,
Mhm.
but in business, that it's a skill that is required, because the more trust you build with that individual, the better they will respond to what you're asking. And it's interesting that you guys concentrate at Wisdom in doing something, in doing something that is essential in normal day life. When you build a rapport, uh, and in this day and age, since the pandemic, particularly, that we are basically virtual from our homes, that skill is needed more and more now because you don't have that human contact with that individual.
You can have a real contact with anyone you really respect. We all talk about diversity, but diversity is respecting that you feel, think, and have thoughts about different things than me, and it's okay. That's respect. So sometimes in the business area, in the work area, I don't get along with someone because of their values or traditions or just the way that person carries herself or himself. But I can still respect that. And that makes me a good team member. So I might enjoy going out and have a drink with some people after hours and not with others. And it's okay, but I can still respect you at work and work really, really good with you and have wonderful results. If I learn that respect has two main areas. One is that we're all different in so many ways. And two, we we have a dignity, a human dignity, and we're just the same as people. It doesn't matter what role or responsibility I have, or if I'm a girl or a boy. It doesn't matter. It's just the respect because you're another human being with ideas and, backgrounds, different backgrounds.
No, and it's true because when you interact with somebody, uh, and build that comfort level, and many of us have, this is what something that I love to do. Journalism is something that I love to do because it brings me that human contact with a lot of people of that diverse backgrounds. But when you're in the business world, and we all have not one job, two jobs, or three jobs to maintain ourselves. But I always said, when I am in the sales field, I always say that I hate the North American way of working because everything is done either over the phone or there is no human interaction. And that's one of the things that I learned when I went over over to the Orient, that everything is family oriented.
Mm,
The owners of the companies know their employees, uh, because they know that they have a family behind them, and that if something is going wrong at home, that's carried into the business. So they get involved in that interaction so that the productivity remains at a level that they want, but in a family environment. uh,
mhm,
and when when you when I was in the Orient in Japan, particularly in companies like Toyota and Honda, and you saw that there weren't offices or walls in the workplace, because the boss was just another person that was contributing to the essence of the company, and everyone in the marketing team was walking up to his desk and throwing ideas at him as to how to promote. And
mm,
you're saying, what is this? In North America, we all have cubicles. We don't, and it was so difficult to understand their way of life. But once you implement that and you bring it back to North America, and you say, okay, so John has a family of five people, probably one. one of the kids is rebellious, if he has problems with him, that's going to affect what he does at work. That shouldn't happen, but yes, it does happen because he has feelings. He has he's tense. He's not relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we carry all our worries everywhere, from the house to work and vice versa. And about what you were saying about things being different in different parts of the world, they are. And I think every person is trying to do their best with the information they have, with what they think they should be doing because they have certain position. So if we really think that everyone's trying to do their best, then I can do my best and feel respected for that. And if I fail or I find a better way, or you can give me feedback and I could do it in a better way, that's wonderful. That's when we're all helping. And we help people feel as one. Like, instead of feeling bullied by a coworker, you can understand that the other person is doing what he or she is doing because they're afraid of something, because they think that's the best thing they can do at the moment, and they're just reacting to their surroundings. It's not about me. That person has a problem. Sometimes I tell people, imagine they just got like a big stomach ache. They ate something that's really bad and they're about to puke. They can't hold it inside. They just have to get it out. I won't stand in front of a person that's just about to throw up. I'll just like help the person from aside, maybe give them a bin to throw up. I could help clean up because I care for the person, even though the other person is just, you know, doing what they have to do. So sometimes people, when they get stressed at work, they just throw bad things, like toxic things, to others because they cannot help it. If you make that person um, feel even worse, well, you get more of that thing all over the place. So my job is to help people understand that we're all trying to do our best. And if you're one of the people who are doing things that other people criticize, well, you can ask for help and develop your emotional skills, your intelligence.
So I want to figure out how you guys do what you do, because normally certain most of the consultants that try to help corporations do it in group sessions,
Mm.
uh, so that and companies do it in group sessions so that they also can save money, but but how have you dealt in the skill development, in the human aspect of skill development
Mhm.
with corporations? Do you prefer group sessions, or you prefer a one-on-one situation?
Oh, it's different. I like both. Like for example, in Corning, it's a very big company here in Mexico. It's Corning Optical Communications. They have 23,000 people in the campus. Of course, they need to do things in groups, right? So we give this. It's coaching, but it's simultaneous coaching. Like we know what the basic needs are, and for example, having people trust each other. We just tell people, think about someone, like you can do it right now. Think about someone you don't trust much, but it would be really good if you could trust that person a little bit more. So everybody can relate to that. And sometimes consultants would say, um, well, trust each other. Yeah, but tell me how, right? That's the secret.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you how to do that in less than 1 minute. So, if you want to trust someone, you have to identify four things. The first one is, what do you need to see in that person to make sure the other person is honest, like really sincere? And what can you ask the person that if that person does it, you would say, well, he or she is more sincere, more than I thought. That's number one. Number two, it's about openness. What topics do you want to talk about with that person? If you have that clarity, you can ask for that. Number three, competencies. What would you like that person to be more capable of? And you can ask for that so the other person can develop that skill. And if doing so, then you can trust that person. And number four is accountability. If you tell me you're going to do something, just please do it on the day and time we we arrange to do that, right? So there's these four things that are important for me, and I can ask you to do something in particular because the other person, like, they can they cannot just uh, imagine know what you need to see in order to trust me. What do you think?
Definitely. That it's definitely what you are touching upon is something interesting because you are trying to get to a level of trust where you can understand the other individual, but still focusing on the task at hand.
Yes, and you can do that with one person, with 500, or you can do it through the app, through the Wiz.Coach. Is the same kind of insights because you are going to do the insight. If you're by yourself with a group of five or a group of 500.
So now I want to get into something interesting because when you brought up different the the competencies that you want from that person, but you also addressed in number two the idea of how what do I have in myself that is similar to that other individual. What topics do we have in common that can get us to that trust?
What things we need to talk about? Like between you and me, Eduardo. Uh, our level of trust is where it is at right now. If I want to trust you more, I would like to talk about some other things in order to do business with you, right? It's not that we don't trust each other, we are at a level of trust. If
Yeah,
we want to do business together, we need to talk about other things. If I feel that you might get uncomfortable, I won't say anything. And then my openness just, it's up to here, right?
that's correct. No, no, and that's one of the things that uh, you with and I want to get now to the idea of we are more and more working remotely,
Yes.
working
And about that, Eduardo.
Working at home, which sometimes people say, okay, how is this individual going to excel,
Mhm,
and how do I know he's doing what he's supposed to be doing if I don't have my eye on him?
that's trust
And that's
and
what
results.
correct, you know. But they have also all the now they are working from an office at home where they can be distracted by family issues that normally they wouldn't have at the office, or they would bring to the office but you don't see them in in real life.
Of course.
So how are executives in businesses or business owners supposed to deal with that issue? Because it's a very difficult issue for a business owner not to have control of the situation when they want to have it.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is having clarity, have a lot of clarity on results, on the value that each person should be sharing with the team. So if I have 5 people that report directly to me, I know what they should be delivering, right? So if they're delivering fine, then they're doing fine, right? If they're
Correct.
not delivering, then we have a problem. But I have a problem if the person is right there sitting at the desk or if they're in their kitchen. It's the same problem because the the results are not met. Now, there are certain jobs that you have to be there, right? It's not like you can do home office or work remotely. It's just the nature
Yeah,
of the work.
yeah. I mean, the businesses that have come back, or most of the businesses have come back, are the manufacturing or
Of course.
agro. I mean, food supply, the customer service. They have come back to a certain level, uh, back to work during this pandemic. But it's interesting because what you guys are doing is teaching people the skills that they require to do it from any environment, not
Yes.
just in person. So it's really gratifying. Uh, w- so let's go now, jump to your application, Wiz.Coach, because it's interesting. Uh, who is how does the application work, and do they get the answers from one of your coaches, or do they get the answers from a general pool of AI questions that are normally there?
That's a wonderful idea. Question. Um, we based the whole experience on the coaching methodology. So Wiz is going to jump to chat with you and it's going to say, "Hi, Eduardo. How you feeling today?" Because that's what a human would ask you, like a coach. How you feeling? And how much stress do you have? And those questions are important because it's going to keep record and then it's going to show you your own graph. You get your statistics. It's important. And then Wiz is going to ask you, what is the topic you want to cover today? Like, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to learn about? And we have several kind of questions, so you don't get the same question every time, right? But it's basically asking you, what do you want to do? Because the coachee is in charge, not the coach. The coach just makes really good questions and follows a methodology, and that's what the bot does, right? And after you say, I want to learn to give feedback, I want to be able to forgive my coworker because the other day such and such happened, right? Or I want to balance my work, professional and personal life. You can talk about all these skills, like being better at managing conflict or managing your stress. You can talk about that too. Anyway, so you choose a topic, and then Wiz is gonna ask you what's happening, and then you talk about what's happening. And then is there someone involved in this? Yes. Like what is his or her name? And then you put the name, and he gets that name and works with the name and what's happening. So it feels like a conversation, but it's already planned in the methodology.
Gee, I don't want to say what it sounds like, but it's. Are we getting rid of the psychiatrist and going to going to a bot to say
Well,
things?
I get that a lot. I get that a lot. Not just psychiatrists, but psychologists and coaches, and mentors and tutors. Um, no, we're not getting rid of them. On the
No,
contrary, this is what I do. I still,
we are helping them.
yeah,
You
I,
guys are
I,
helping them.
I still give coaching. I have several coachees, and between one meeting and the next one, that could be like 3 weeks, I suggest they chat with Wiz once or twice or three times a week for 10 minutes to talk about the daily issues. And if that person needs more emotional intelligence, I would um, suggest some topics with Wiz, or enter and plan what your personal goals are and your professional goals, and you can do all that with Wiz. You can even listen to the podcast. We have a podcast. It's called it's in Spanish, El Podcast de Wisdom. Wisdom is the WISDENN, like wisdom, development, and innovation.
Oh,
It's like
wow,
one word for wisdom.
that's amazing. That's really uh, you know, you have brought a lot of thought to me because it's interesting. It's something that I grew up with. My parents and my grandparents and great grandparents taught me a lot about being, as we say in Spanish, una mejor persona, un mejor humano.
Mm,
And to me, being a better human every day, being a better person, is
yes.
part of my daily routine. See how can I help my fellow man, so that we can get to a better understanding of each other. And it's part of being in a globalized world, uh, in a in a carpet of many cultures, ethnicities, and it's just great because we can all learn from each other at a great extent. And you guys are doing this, but you guys are doing this. You have been doing this at a corporate level, which people normally don't have an engagement, an understanding of what makes a better what makes a better employee, if you understand where they are coming from. So I have to give you a lot of uh, encouragement, because this is something that companies need to know. And I want to thank you, Ana Maria, because this is one has been a very enlightening talk. I would love to have a follow up with you during collision, because I think when people understand uh, what you guys are trying to do and what you guys are trying to present at an IT conference, which is not the normal environment for a company like yours to be at.
Yeah,
Uh,
even like I know there's 1,250 startups showing for in these 4 days. And when we were asked what kind of industry we are at, we all like the one that looks kind of ours. It's HR and recruitment. We don't do recruitment and we don't do HR. We do development. We do
But
coaching.
yes, although you don't do HR, you are part of the HR environment because because you are developing the human talent that HR wants.
Yeah, but you know something? Each person is in charge of their own learning.
Yeah.
And each boss, supervisor should be interested in their fellow team members, interested in the well-being of their own people. It's not HR's job to have a strong culture. They plan it, yeah, like very strategically, but each person in charge should be interested in developing skills among everyone around them.
So it's interesting what you, like, as I was saying, it's interesting what you guys do because now corporations and a new role has been developed in corporations
Yeah,
uh, for human success. So, and the other day I was talking with a friend of mine that is a CIO at a company here in Toronto, and he said, we are looking for a remote engagement officer. And
yeah,
I said, what are you talking about? He goes, yes, we have to interact with our employees, and we need someone to guide that team
yeah,
and create a team that what they will be doing the whole day is engaging with employees to see if they are happy where they are in the work environment they are having. And it's interesting that that's been developed
yes,
because before you had to go to HR and ask them, I need to get, the employee had to go to HR and say, look, I am not feeling comfortable with this, I am not feeling comfortable with that. Now it's the company reaching out to the employee to see what difficulties they are having, so that they can perform better from another location.
the same way we tend to want to understand our clients and serve our clients, we need to understand the employees and serve the employees because every employee is key to success. And even if that employee stays with us for a month, for a year, for a decade, just by passing through, I want that person to imprint all the value the person can give us all the time. People, I want every employee or former employee to be very proud of the journey inside our company. That's what we want.
And it's something that right now in the corporate world, especially North America, it's not at it, not a stage where, I mean, you keep hearing the stories currently with Mr. Elon Musk and Tesla, or in Twitter, that the employees of Twitter don't want him to buy the company because they've heard of the atrocities that does with his employees at Tesla. So, I mean, it's crazy that an individual that has risen to such a success doesn't understand how his core group, the guys that actually uh, are producing the product, feel or dislike. I
Well,
mean,
I wouldn't know. I don't know if that's a media thing or if it's really happening. But again, if if this man has his temper. Well, there are people that can and will strive and be excellent with that kind of temper, because the people, if you want to work with someone that's like has a very interesting vision, a different vision, and it doesn't have this emotional intelligence, well, it's like going inside um, a COVID problem. You need to put a mask and not feel attacked.
Yeah,
If you can do that, you can work with anyone.
it's interesting. I mean, you know, um, and I deeply want to thank you for being with us today because it was a really enlightening conversation with you. Because it wasn't an interview; it was a conversation
Yes.
of the minds, and I imagine that all our audience uh, is enlightened as well because in especially in our world, in the IT world, sometimes we are not perceived as humans. We are perceived as robots that that create technology, uh, and it's so automated that we are not in contact with the, with some sides of human of the customer end.
You know what, Eduardo? We need to start making better contact with ourselves.
Yeah.
And once we do that, we can contact with everyone else.
So again, I want to thank you very much for being on our show. Have a great trip into Toronto. We look forward to seeing you here at Collision. And remembering everybody, Collision will be is here June 20th to the 23rd in Toronto at the Care Center. Uh, Currently, there are more than 50,000 people that will roam through the halls of Collision, and from all stages in life, from the IT development to startups, new companies are innovating. Uh, the financial people that are looking to invest in companies that are making the world a different place. So and as well the media, people like us that we would like to share that story. So come to Collision if you have the time. eh, Interact with these companies because it's a great and innovative way, and you find people from everywhere. Ana Maria Quintanilla is from Mexico. uh, as you have seen in previous shows, we had people from Singapore and Costa Rica and Chile in our show that are coming to Collision because it's a world stage, a global IT world that we live in.
Mhm.
And everywhere in the world, someone is creating something and they want to bring it out to you. So, in the name of Ana Maria Quintanilla, my name is Eduardo Harari. Remember that this show can be heard as well on the Spanglish Radio World Network. As well, remember that the World Tech Report, watch it, hear it, read it in our magazines and newspaper, La Portada Canadá, download it, but especially live it because the World Tech Report is technology and technology is the World Tech Report. Until our next session, directly from the Collision Conference in Toronto, this has been a great pleasure to have Ms. Quintanilla here from Monterrey. And until then, we bid you a farewell and a great and happy Father's Day weekend all around the world.